Hello everyone, in this lesson we will discuss time-lapse photography, including important considerations during the shooting process and the requirements for shooting scenes. Next, I'll use a video to explain to you. Let's watch the video. The most important aspect of time-lapse photography is stability. Now, we have a stabilizer, a tripod, and a gimbal, along with the most crucial item called a phone holder. Since we will be using a mobile phone for our shooting, it is essential to securely clamp it in place. How to use them? First of all, the phone holder should securely hold the phone. The phone's position can be changed as desired because it does not need to be balanced. You can place it to the side, which makes it easier to handle. Be sure to tighten the phone holder firmly. And then place it on the gimbal. Also, tighten the clasp of the gimbal securely. Check it. Next, fix the gimbal onto the tripod. This is the basic operation. When we need to adjust the angle of the phone, we can do so by adjusting the gimbal. Find a suitable position and lock it in place. If you want to make your video even more stable, especially in windy conditions, it is advisable to spread your tripod legs as wide as possible. The lower the center of gravity, the more stable it will be. It is less likely to trip over, even in strong winds. If you find that lowering the tripod makes it too short for your needs, you can use an extension pole. We need to attach the extension pole to the bottom of the tripod and screw it in place, and then connect it to the gimbal. This is one section. We can make it taller. The key is to ensure stability at the bottom. Even if the extension pole is longer, it will not be an issue. Unless you shake it violently, it should remain stable under normal circumstances. So this is the most compact set of tools that we generally use for time-lapse photography. I recommend not purchasing a tripod that is too large, as it can be inconvenient for travel purposes. Well, this is the most commonly used stabilizing device in my everyday life. Take Huawei phones as an example. Open the camera app and navigate to More. You will find an option called Time Lapse. Click on it, and the interface will be like this. At this point, you need to place the phone on this clamp and then mount it onto the tripod. It is crucial to ensure stability as it is essential for minimizing shake during video recording. I'm going to attach the phone to this clamp. Once it is fixed, we need to make sure the phone is leveled and adjust it to a suitable position. Then, we can identify the objects within the frame that we want to capture. For example, in general, time-lapse photography captures moving objects. In this frame, the mountain remains stationary, while the clouds are in motion. If we want to focus on the clouds, we should tilt the phone slightly upwards. At this point, tap the dark area to lighten it. Then, slightly reduce the exposure to ensure there are some details in the clouds. Once done, press the button to start recording. At the top of the screen, the left side represents the recorded video time, which is the actual elapsed time. Currently, it shows 10 seconds. On the right side, it shows how many seconds of time-lapse footage will be generated. The actual duration of the recording will be condensed into 1 second of output. In this case, the recorded video time is 25 seconds, which means that a 25-second recording will be compressed into about 2 seconds of time-lapse footage. This is a time calculation method used in time-lapse photography. Time-lapse photography requires a significant amount of waiting time and cannot be completed immediately. Currently, from the screen, it may not appear to have significant changes. The cloud movement is not very pronounced, and the transitions are slow. We need to wait patiently. It is important for all objects to remain still, without any obstructions in the foreground, until the recording is complete. Usually, this process takes around 5 minutes. Let's wait for 5 minutes and see what the resulting footage looks like. A layer of clouds is coming from the opposite side. It is raining, and the mountain is covered in mist, giving a clear foggy feeling. Actually, it is already raining. And these conditions are easily captured in the footage. Time-lapse photography is suitable for capturing blue skies with white clouds, showcasing the drifting movement of the clouds. It is also ideal for capturing the radiant lights at night, as well as boats and ships along riverbanks. These subjects are all suited for time-lapse photography. For time-lapse photography, the most important thing is to ensure that your phone is stable. Even if you place your phone next to a rock, you can still use it for time-lapse photography once it is properly stabilized. Once your phone is stabilized, your footage will be free from camera shake. If there is any shake, it can make the footage appear unpleasant to watch. Another important point is to avoid tapping the bright areas when setting the exposure. If you tap the bright areas for exposure, the dark areas of the frame will become completely black, without any visible details. Of course, you should also avoid tapping the dark areas for exposure. If you do so, the bright areas will appear pale without any details. In that case, you need to tap an appropriate area of the frame, which is between the dark area and the bright area, and then increase or decrease the exposure little by little. That is the only method. Another important thing to note is that you should avoid touching your phone during the time-lapse recording. Any movement caused by touching the phone can introduce shake into the footage. It is similar to what I said earlier, even if the phone is placed securely. A slight movement during the recording can cause a noticeable shake to the footage. In addition, after you tap the button to finish recording, do not rush to remove the phone. Wait for 2 to 3 seconds, because sometimes it has not completely finished capturing the footage. It is better to wait for 1 or 2 seconds until all the shots have been captured before removing the phone. In time-lapse photography, when composing the scene, as we discussed earlier, the rule of thirds should be followed as far as possible. I align the mountains along the lower horizontal line, while the clouds occupy the upper 2/3 of the composition. Since I position the phone in a relatively horizontal position, the resulting footage captures more details of the clouds, because they are dynamic, while the mountains remain stationary. It is snowing now. Due to the unpredictable weather conditions in high-altitude areas, we can capture a variety of different scenes. Once this video is completed, it can be imported into an app for color editing. Another point to note is that during the post-processing editing, you can try to enhance the colors in the dark areas, because a neutral density filter was not used in the current shooting process. The effect of using a neutral density filter on a phone camera is relatively minimal. The size of the lens is small, so a neutral density filter is of little use. Therefore, the only option is to enhance the colors in dark areas in post-processing editing. The pale color in the bright areas may not be recoverable, but once the colors in the dark areas are enhanced, the bright areas will not appear as that bright. Another thing to consider during the color post-processing is to increase the saturation or enhance the yellow color to make the overall color tone brighter and more vibrant. Okay, it's almost 5 minutes. Let's end this recording. Wait for about 2 seconds. Okay, so this time-lapse video is finished. Let's check the footage. Look at these clouds. Their movement is quite impressive. You can see it's raining in the distance. The video has finished playing. Let's wrap up this lesson on mobile phone photography. Thanks for watching.